Summer 2026 anime season is almost right upon us, and I am super freaking excited about it. We got a lot of things coming up. We got Bleach, we got Black Torch. I haven't even seen a trailer for Black Torch, but I heard some things about it, and I can't wait for Black Torch to come out. There's another anime that's coming out that I can't wait to see, but I have a love-hate relationship with it, and that's Mushoku Tensei. For those of you who don't know what that is also Jobless Reincarnation. Yes, that anime. So apparently with this anime, what I love about it, the animation is incredible. The world, the setting is so incredibly intriguing. There's so much I want to know about this world and the characters. But there's a small problem with this series. Something that makes me absolutely cringe every time I watch it. Something that hurts me on the inside every single time I watch it, even though I'm fully invested in this series. And that is the protagonist, Rudeus Greyrat. I think we have to talk about this guy, and I don't understand why people love this character. This guy is the absolute freaking worst. I can't stand Rudeus. I don't know if I hate Rudeus more or do I hate the fact that people actually glorify this character. This guy is the absolute freaking worst. Let's just get into this for a second. Rudeus was this 40-something-year-old shut-in, and deservingly so that he decided to be a shut-in. This dude got teased. It was messed up. People should not have treated this guy this way, but guess what happened to him? He shut himself off for the rest of the world, and I think how did he die? I don't even remember how he died. Did he just die like a heart attack or something? I don't even remember. Season 1 was quite so long ago, but whatever. He died, he's isekai'd, and now he can just live a brand new life. But instead of using this brand new life to say, I kind of wasted the one that I did before, I'm gonna try to become a better person, he decides to become an absolute freaking ghoul. And how does he do this? Well, mainly through just a whole bunch of SA. That's pretty much what he does the whole time. But how does he do this? Well, let's just start with the fact that he's a little kid, and he is constantly doing these little sexual things with his maid Lilia, and she knows that he's a kid. So there's no way everything he's doing has to be innocent, right? But he knows what he's doing. He knows that he's doing these things to her. He knows he's like grabbing underwear and putting it on his face. He knows what he's doing. Dude, you were a shut-in, living a life, a terrible life. And what do you do when you get reincarnated? I'm gonna go wear my maid's underwear on my head. Dude, bro, that's messed up for her. You gotta see her. Every time you see her first, she's looking horrified. Like, does he know what he's doing? This poor woman. And we're gonna get back to her because this poor woman, my goodness. But yeah, it keeps going further. He steals his teacher's panties, and he pretty much has it in a shrine. Listen, I get it. I mean, I get it. You kind of like your big love. Roxy is hot. I get it. But that's a level of creep factor that you shouldn't be having, especially when you're mentally in your 40s. That is ridiculous. Now, I get it. He was like, he died like a virgin. He was a shut-in. I get it. But at some point you got to be like, dude, that's too ridiculous. That's too. And I'm not against the perversion in anime, but he's at a level where it makes me feel kind of like this is kind of really uncomfortable right now. He shouldn't really be doing this type of crap, especially with somebody with his mental state. He really shouldn't be doing that. But no, it always gets worse from there, because what else he wants to do? He always tries to cop a feel on his cousin Eris. Not even like asking, but like, hey, hey, can I do this? I mean, it's weird anyway. That's his cousin, but it's anime. I don't give a crap about any of that stuff. And he's like, hey, I want to do this. And he'll do it without permission. He will try to sneak shit when she is like sleeping and stuff. Also, can we just put into perspective? This guy is mentally in his 40s, right? Mentally in his 40s. And he's like, my cousin who's like this age, I don't even know if I could say it because I don't think YouTube would like it. But yeah, she's a minor, and he's mentally in his 40s. So I get it. Here's the deal. I'll put a caveat. Let's say in these reincarnation animes, you get reincarnated, and now mentally you're in a place where your attractions are now matching your age. Okay, let's say that's the case. But we know that's not the case, because every single time we see this guy talking to the man god, we see the freaking fat 40-something-year-old version of this guy just talking to him. That is his true mental state. He is a guy in his 40s, and he's like, yeah, let me go cop a feel on my minor cousin. What? Why are you doing? And here's the thing. In this world, it seems that it doesn't really matter, familial relationships. I guess fine, but at least in your headspace, you should be like, man, I'm this age in my brain. I shouldn't find her attractive. Let's wait on that. Maybe you should probably wait on that. But he don't do that because this guy is an absolute freaking monster. Did I talk about how about when he went to school and he kidnapped 2 minors because they broke one of his figures, that he gave to somebody. And trust me, I'm a guy who loves my anime figures. I don't know if you can see some. I mean, these are Funkos, but I got anime figures here, like somewhere. They're like hidden behind the Funkos, and I will be livid if somebody broke one of my figures. But granted, he even said himself, I could just repair the figure if I really want to. I totally forgot about that. I have like my specialty is earth magic, and that's pretty much how I made this figure in the first place. But aside from that, I get it. He was defending his boy. He was being bullied by these girls. So you know what? He stepped in for him. They broke his figure. He stepped in. I don't even mind that he beat their asses in a battle of magic. That's perfectly fine. That's good for this world. But then why'd you have to kidnap them? And why'd you have to keep them to the point that they even pissed on themselves? And he even fondled one of them. Mind you, one of those students is the child of somebody he knows. This guy's the worst. This guy is the worst. This guy's the absolute freaking worst. Mind you, I'm skipping too far ahead. Did I skip to the fact that after he slept with his cousin Eris? So mind you, so many people hate Eris for some reason. Oh my gosh, she didn't stay with Rudeus. Do you guys not remember the storyline that she's pretty much going off to be married off to some lord? And she probably figured, hey, you know what? Instead of my first time being with some scumbag I don't know, she decided, hey, let me be with a scumbag that I actually care about. So she made it with Rudeus. I at least understand what she was trying to go for here. She didn't want her first time to be like some loveless one. She at least cares for Rudeus. But then what did the dude do? Dude was sulking in depression. And everybody was like, oh my God, Eris, why did you do this? Why did you do this? You guys know that you were voting for like an incest angle, which again, this is anime. I don't care about any of that. I watch Kisses. I don't really care. But I just want you to be made aware what you're rooting for. And you're demonizing her when I completely understand why she wanted to sleep with Rudeus, and he was not opposed to it. But when he woke up at the end of the day, but this dude was in such a complete depression. That dude wanted to kill himself. I'm sorry. Do not look up to this guy. Do not want to off yourself because you can't be with the woman you were with the first time. This is a lesson to all men out there. Do not follow in this man's path. He is absolutely ridiculous. You should not want to off yourself because you couldn't sleep with a woman or be with a woman anymore. That is absolutely ridiculous. It was so bad to the point that he actually got ED. Now again, he can't help that. That's just something that happens. But you know what? He could help not trying to marry the first person that can get it up for him. Yes, Sylvie, his childhood best friend, is able to cure him, and he's like, oh snap, I'm just gonna go sleep with you. Fine, do what you gotta do. Now I'm gonna marry you. He's gonna marry the first girl who cured his ED. Now you're gonna say, but they're childhood friends. It's sweet, dude. They haven't known each other. They haven't been childhood friends for a long freaking time. At that point in the series, they didn't really rekindle. He just really immediately went to, oh, you made me able to bang again, and now we're gonna get married. That is absolutely. Do not do this, people. Do not just sleep with the first person. He is the type of character that no man, no boy, nobody in the male line of your orientation should not look up to this character. He is the definition of horrendous. And the thing is, I almost think that's what the creator was going for. I think the creator was going for, let me make the most abhorrent character ever that people should dislike, and he should be a learning lesson. Because I think in that line, Rudeus is a pretty amazing character. He is so incredibly flawed that we should look at his story as a cautionary tale. But we don't, because a lot of people glorify him and they give him excuses. Oh, but he was a shut-in. He doesn't understand societal norms. Yes, he does. He was a shut-in. There's nothing wrong with up here. He was a shut-in because he was teased. External stimulus made him a shut-in. That doesn't mean he doesn't understand that kidnapping 2 children and then touching on one of them and then watching one of them just piss himself on the floor is not a bad thing. He knows this is bad. He's just a horrendous freaking creature. That is his problem, and people defend it. And not only do people defend it, the world defends it. He does not suffer for the things that he does, and that's the part that I hate the most, is that the world does not punish Rudeus for the horrible choices that he makes in the series. He could be like, well, Paul died, but Paul didn't die because of one of Rudeus's choices. Nobody actually really cares about Rudeus's choices. The world doesn't punish Rudeus for the stupid things that he literally does, but bad things just happen to happen around him, which is different. And speaking of Paul, you know, his dad who cheated on his mom with Lilia, yes, the maid. And guess what? Got her pregnant. So now he has a sister and he has a half sister. And his sister, Norn, is probably the only sensible person in the entire series. We'll get to her. But yeah, Lilia, poor Lilia. She kind of got the short end of the stick there, didn't she? Oh, goodness. But yeah, Paul died, you know. His dad died, and that sucks. Paul was a guy. You could tell he loved his children, but man, he was a crappy husband. Even going up to his son and be like, "Hey, you know, Rudeus, sometimes a man's just not good with one sword. Sometimes, you know, you got to get another sword. You know, I wasn't fine with one sword." That is crazy to tell your child. Women are not objects. They're not swords. Because here's the deal. What if he was like, "Hey, you know, you got Sylvie, but you know, you might want another sword." Yeah. You're only saying that in relation to him. It's only okay for him. But what if Sylvie was like, "Hey, you know, Rudeus, how about I start dual wielding?" Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rudeus was not going to be down for that. So it's pretty weird to like talk about polygamy and stuff like that and not even consider the fact that, hey, you know, you're not even considering the feelings of the other person. It's not just on you to be like, "Hey, you know, I just want to get another sword," which he did. And that sword was called Roxy, his teacher. But yeah, Paul is gone and then he's all sad and then Roxy comes on to him and then he sleeps with Roxy. And I'm not even gonna fault him for that one, but I will fault him for being like, "I'm gonna go and marry this woman, even though I'm already married to my childhood best friend who cured my ED." This series is ridiculous. Granted, I will say it wasn't kind of like his idea. It was kind of like, you know, the seductive elf, Elenice. Am I saying her name correctly? I love this woman. Or I should say I loved this woman. She is... she's everything, but you know she is? She's a horrible family member because she's the one who goes, "Hey, you know what? I can't stand seeing Roxy all sad that she can't have you. Yeah, you should totally just cheat on my daughter or great granddaughter." I forgot how far the branch goes. Doesn't matter, dude. If my girl was out with a family member of mine and some random dude, maybe he's like on the tracking team or something, they're doing some crazy shit, I don't know what it is, and he's like, he really wants my girl, and then my grandma or my aunt or somebody said, "Man, I can't stand seeing like this, you should totally just cheat on like my nephew or my grandson, man, and to marry him too, you could have both." What kind of family member does that? That is ridiculous. But it doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't matter because, you know, because Sophie at the end of the day is gonna be like, "I knew my man was shit and was gonna do this anyway, so I'm fine with it," which maybe was all respect for her. But yeah, the death of Paul really kind of you know, stirred a little bit of things up there. And the thing is, I'm just gonna say this, and a lot of people are gonna disagree with this, and a lot of people are not gonna like this, but Paul was a piece of shit anyway. He did cheat on his wife, and Rudeus even acknowledged that this was messed up. And remember when I was saying I was gonna get back to Lilia? Yeah, he assaulted Lilia. Yeah. When he was training in her father's water something style sword something whatever thing, he thought he was all cool, and against her will, it's a side story. It was hinted at in the series. I looked it up afterwards because I was like, "What the hell does that even mean?" And I was like, "Oh, Paul's a monster. Paul is actually a monster." Like I feel bad for Rudeus and I feel bad for Norn and Aisha because those are his children. And even though their dad was a complete piece of crap, as a husband, as a man, he was, what you could see is that he was actually at least a decent father, and I can give him that. But he was a freaking animal, an absolute animal, and him not being in the world anymore, I'm just saying, a good person didn't go. Oh, I mean, you could say that he probably did some nice heroic things, and I would agree to that as well. But he cheated on his wife with the woman who he R-worded when they were younger. Yeah, fuck ball. Whatever. We don't need that. But getting on to the ending, because the ending made my heart hurt. Because this is when Rudeus is like, Sylvie, yeah, I want to marry Roxy too. I don't care if you've only got one arm. I don't care if your dad just died. That's some crazy thing to say to your wife who's pregnant. And then your sister is like, bro, Shay was waiting for you to come back. She was worried sick, and you came back with another woman. And I am surprised so many people on the internet were defending Rudeus and saying that this was okay. And people were hating on Norn, the only voice of reason in this whole freaking anime. Yes, it's messed up to come back and just be like, yo, that's your pregnant wife over here, but you still want to go sleep with somebody else. It's one thing that he cheated. Now you want to get married? This guy's supposed to be a father. I think he's having a son. He has to have a son. He better not have a daughter, because there's no way he can raise a daughter, because she's gonna be pimped out. Like, you cannot do that. But I'm just like, dude. And the internet was piling on Norn for being the voice of reason. And of course, Rudeus is like, remember, well, you know, when I came to you and I helped you, sometimes you want to repay the people that save you and stuff like, dude, what? Every time you're freaking sad and a woman comes up to you, you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to go marry her now? This was not a good excuse by Rudeus. Rudeus is just an absolute freaking monster. And the problem is that the world doesn't punish him for these things. Nobody saw, you cheated on your pregnant wife? You're asking somebody else to marry him? Yeah, it's okay. Everybody just went to the wedding. Everybody just sees the baby being born. Like, it's nothing. I don't care that the character is flawed, because I think that makes him interesting. I just care that the world doesn't really punish Rudeus for making horrific choices. Like, when he kidnapped those girls, Sophie found out. And know what Sophie did? Sophie just, like blackmailed him. Was like, put on face. If you tell anybody, your face will burn or whatever, some bull crap like that. Instead of Sophie being like, Rudy, like, what the hell, man? You can't do this. That's what should happen. But it doesn't. Because the world doesn't punish this motherfucker for anything he does. It'll make him feel sad, but things that are not in relation to the things that he is doing. It's crazy. And the thing is, this man is mentally in his 40s, but overall has lived over 50-something years. And people just give him an excuse. He's a shut-in. He's not mentally disabled. He knows he's doing messed up things. Why is he doing this? Why is he wasting his life doing this? And I think if the object here is to make a completely flawed character, and that we want to see him get better because he absolutely sucks, then Rudeus is a perfectly written character, and I respect that. But the fact that people glorify who he currently is the problem. We are not supposed to be rooting for the current version of Rudeus. He is freaking terrible. But guess what? You don't care. So many people don't care. It's ridiculous. Why are people like this guy? And some people at the end was like, you know, when I went on X, how many people were in that last episode like, cinema. This ended with the dude going to his pregnant wife saying, I'm gonna go and marry this other woman. I'm not gonna give you any real good excuse. And then Sylvie being like, yeah, I knew you will eventually do that. And Norn is just sitting there like, oh my God, what the fuck? And then everybody in the comments were like, oh my God, Norn didn't oppose to when Paul cheated with whatever. First of all, she was not the child of the mistress, so who cares? But second of all, yes, she's not going to be opposed to her own sister being born. When was she going to do that? She was a zygote when that happened. When was she going to oppose to Aisha being born or Aisha's conception? People are so ridiculous. I don't understand. But yeah, Rudeus, he's the worst. He's the absolute worst freaking character. And I respect that. And I think the world around Mushoku Tensei is so freaking amazing. But I can't stand this protagonist. I just want more Eris on screen. That's the only reason I watch the series anyways, for Eris. That's all I want to see on screen. I just want to see her being a badass. That's it. But Rudeus is the worst. And the world of Mushoku Tensei doesn't punish him for his abhorrent behavior, and the people who watch the series glorify him. And I know people are gonna come up here and be like, LARPer. No. This is gonna sound fucking cheesy as hell, but I've been watching anime for most of my entire life. I've done everything with it. I've seen more anime than you can count. Listen, It's not LARPer behavior to say, hey, you know what? This guy who's like 40 something years old, who's constantly doing sexual harassment to pretty much every woman around him, including those who he should probably not be finding attractive at this point. That's not calling me LARPer. That's calling out the dude for his Diddy behavior. That's it. The guy is freaking messed up. And I hope he grows to be an amazing character, especially now that he's going to be a father, or I should say now that he is a father. I do hope we do see a lot of growth for this character. But the people who defended who he was prior to season 3, no, I ain't gonna say nothing, because this is like, I'm very early on my YouTube career, so I don't want to go burning bridges immediately. But let's just call a spade a spade. He's horrendous, but very well written, but a world that doesn't punish him for how horrendous he is. And I think that would be, you know, that would be pretty nice. Make him understand, man, maybe I shouldn't have cheated on my wife. Oh, yeah, that's not a good idea. Maybe I shouldn't have, you know, kidnapped those girls, especially since one of them is related to somebody I know. Man, yeah, maybe I shouldn't try to off myself because I couldn't sleep with my cousin anymore. That's kind of like crazy. Man, some people are bullying my little sister in school. Yeah, I'm going to get mad. Maybe I should beat up these children. That's a thing that happened. He was going to go do that too. He's the worst, but I can't stop watching this series. I don't even really like isekais, but this is one of the ones I really like because it's so intriguing despite the fact that the main character is absolute crap. So I hope you guys enjoy season 3 because I'm hoping to enjoy it as well. Until next time, people, peace out.